Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of The Shooting Show. This is my lovely wife, Heather. And we are indeed proud to be here today, friends, because you know what? If you're seeing us now, that means we're on again. And we appreciate all the support. We appreciate the nice letters. And realize our first newsletter has already gone out. If you'd like to sign up for a subscription, we think it's real good. We have some tremendous things in it, things that we can't get into on the program here, written down that would take a lot of time. But still, you folks need to know about some of these things happening. You know, this is one of the new Dan Wesson guns. This is a 744 from the new Dan Wesson company. And I told Bob Server the other day, he says, you know, I'm so glad to see a new American gun company. Because honestly, friends, we don't know how long we're going to be able to have guns of any type. You know, Heather, you were saying something earlier about how our country was founded. You want to mention that now?
That's right. Very few people don't know. Very few people know.
Got a horse fly there. That
the Pilgrims originally came to the States on the Mayflower to protect their religious freedom, to practice the freedom of their choice, and that our country is actually built on the morality of God-given beliefs and the Ten Commandments.
Well, that's really true, and a lot of people have said, well, it doesn't matter who the president is, doesn't matter who's in office. Okay, friends, when you have a totally amoral, not just immoral, but amoral, Clinton doesn't have any morals. Look what you get. You get people like Janet Reno running the Justice Department. You get a goofy like Al Gore.
How about Madeleine Albright? There's nothing right about that woman.
And she's trying to tell other countries how to run. Tell you what, they backed down on the Israelis some.
Yeah,
good for them.
They did finally, didn't they? I cannot understand how they could tell the Israelis that they had to give up part of their land. That's ridiculous.
They couldn't. They can't tell anybody anything with justifiably, and that's what they're trying to do. You know, Charlton Heston, and really, friends, you know, I've got my differences with the NRA, but we need the NRA. It's still the largest gun owner organization here in the United States. We need them. And I'm hopeful that maybe Charlton Heston can do them some good. I thought what Heston said was great. Said, Mr. Clinton, if we can't trust you with our daughters, we sure can't trust you with our guns. And he said something like that. I thought that was an excellent statement.
It's hitting the nail on the head.
Well, we do wish the NRA a lot of luck, and hopefully they can get their act together. I hope so, because you know what, friends? Right now, as we speak, we're losing our rights. We're losing our rights not only to own guns, but losing our rights to free speech. You know, this governor out in one of the western states wants to arrest people if you have on camouflage clothing like a lot of hunters wear during hunting season. If two of them get together and drink coffee, well, they can be arrested because of what they have on. This is crazy.
That's censorship. You
bet it's censorship. It's worse than that. It's fascism. And I tell you what, all those folks out there who choose not to get involved, the ones who say, well, you know, I'm just going to mind my own business. I'm not really interested in those politics, like that guy with Silhouette Association some time ago. He said he didn't care about politics. He just wanted to shoot his gun. But let me tell you what, he's not going to have a gun left to shoot if he doesn't get involved along with the rest of us.
That's right. We all have a part in this. We all have to take responsibility. We have to be active and tell everyone we know.
You know, that's a good point. Good point.
We have to.
Maybe this is what's wrong. You know, our whole society has said, well, look, nobody's responsible. It's somebody else's fault.
Well, that's the government dumbing us all down.
Well, I think that's true.
That's right.
Because you know what, friends? We are responsible. We're responsible for our own security. Let me tell you what, this Y2K thing, this computer collapse comes in the year 2000, and they've taken our guns away, and yes, they could do it by the year 2000. If, in fact, and you call 911, you get a busy signal, and people are breaking in your home, people are attacking your family, what are you going to do about it if you don't have guns to defend yourself? The police are not going to be there. Did you know at any given time there's only one policeman for every 1,500 residents? Now, wait a minute. One guy or a woman with a handgun is not going to be able to protect hardly themselves, just themselves, maybe their own family. They're not going to be worried about your family. The police doesn't even have an obligation to protect the public. They really don't. It's been proven in court cases. This is true. The police do not have an obligation to protect the individual. So you know what? If we can't do it ourselves, guess what? We're going to go through the dark ages again, friends. And I, for one, Heather, the judge, my mother, all of you out there watching, we don't want this. Now, what are we going to do about it? The only chance we have is to reach more people on television. If there would be someone or somebodies out there that would like to help expand our programming, heck, we're having enough trouble just staying on.
That's right. It's very difficult.
But if you'd like to help expand, see, we can buy time on the little dish. We can buy time, it's $2,500 an hour. We can't afford that. But we could reach many, many more Americans. That would be another way we could do it. Thankfully, the internet is really starting to, a lot of people are starting to watch our program on the internet. We're so pleased about that. We appreciate our good friend that's doing that for us. This is in its infancy, but let me tell you what, a year from now, if we can manage to hold this thing together and stay on, we're going to have vast numbers watching our show on the internet. See, they can't stop us there yet. Another thing that we're doing, we want to talk about, you can get our newsletter. It is just excellent, and we appreciate so much all the people that have subscribed to it. We have a great show for you today. We're going to go back and pick up, we didn't get to pick up our Fun Gun Weekend stuff last week because we ran out of time on the show, and we're so appreciative of the Old West Mercantile store. Is that a great Western store?
That is a great Western store.
Really, when we went over there for the first time, I guess a year ago, I was surprised. Wait a minute. You know, I just couldn't believe all the stuff that they had. So when you see their commercial, incidentally, if you're watching our program on the internet, when you get to the commercial for Old West Mercantile or Georgia Arms, all you have to do is click on with your mouse there.
That's right. It'll take you right to their
It'll take you to a website. So you can go to their catalog. So that's something really neat that we have going. So anyway, I told Bob Servo, I said, you know, Bob, I called him after we've been shooting this gun for several days now. And honestly, I'm like a lot of us friends, I didn't really know. I mean, I know what the old Dan Wessons were because we had, of course, we had a number of those guns come through here. We had our shooting show gun. And, you know, it's in a different location. They have new equipment. And Bob's a nice fellow, but, you know, we really didn't know how the guns were going to perform until we got one and got to try it. This is from the new factory in Norwich, New York. And all I can say is, hey, Coney, I know you're watching. Coney Robertson's got a Dan Wesson that's got about 20,000 full-powered rounds through it, and he was concerned about the new ones. Let me tell you what, these things, they're winners. They really are. This one's in 44 Magnum, and we're going to show you some things about the Dan Wesson, but let's go ahead and open another shooting show. But first of all, let me ask you this, friends. If you can help us stay on the air, if you care about what we're doing and trying to educate more Americans about what this is about, if you care, will you please sit down and write a check to the shooting show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. If you'd like to help sponsor our program or maybe get in our support group, well, you can do that. Give us a call, area 318-377-5189. You know, I do want to mention there's legislation coming. It's part of the Brady bill that's going to go into effect. And see, the NRA missed on that one. They said, well, the instant check was okay. The instant check's not okay. Gun Owners of America fought the instant check from the time it was brought up because they knew what was going to come. Because now, when this thing goes into effect, you can't buy a gun from your neighbor. You can't give your son or daughter a gun. You can't do that without a background check done through the police. And they're asking what the serial number of the gun is, what kind it is. You know, it sounds a lot like registration.
Essentially, they're asking the business people that are repairing guns, they're asking them to confiscate guns.
If you don't pass the background check, they're going to ask the gun shops or the manufacturer to confiscate your gun.
Now, how's that for censorship, people?
Now then, and that's going to be computer records, friends. Think about it. Have you ever had a bad or wrong report on, say, your credit report?
That's right.
Has anything ever been charged to one of your credit cards that was incorrect? I think most of us could say yes.
That's right.
And how long did it take to fix that? Well, it may take months if you ever fix it. Meanwhile, your gun is gone.
Yeah, you have to wade through a lot of bureaucracy.
So I would imagine that I guess we ought to call some of the home gunsmithing outfits, and because I imagine they're going to do a land office business. If you got a problem, you better be able to work on your own gun. You might, nobody really knows, but this is coming. It's not off in the distance, it's right up ahead.
But the government is effectively taking another businessman out of circulation, too,
Oh, sure.
by this.
Oh, absolutely.
The small businesses, the men that repair the guns, they're going to be driven right out of business.
Well, some of them may. That's really true because
So much for free enterprise.
well, they don't care about that. They just want to disarm us because they can have their police state. They can tell us all what to do. Some of us not going for that. If you want to stand with us, why don't you help us? Why don't you write a check? Because that's how we're here today.
We rely on your contributions.
That's true. Our sponsors help, but let me tell you what, we're here due to a large part because of your contributions. And every time that this program airs, that means that someone that we're standing up, you and us together, every time it airs, every time a cable company replays it, every time somebody looks at it on the internet, guess what? We're standing for something. We're standing up for our rights, what we believe in. We can still do this thing. I believe, I hope and pray we can still do this without bloodshed. It can be turned around. If we don't get active and we don't start working and doing what we can, it's not going to be turned around, friends.
The complacency has to stop.
It's got to stop. Well, let's go ahead and open another shooting show. We have some targets out here, and let's start with our Dan Wesson 44 Magnum today. What do you think? Now, friends, we were talking about this Dan Wesson a little bit earlier. We got our water bottle out there at 100 yards, and a lot of times I'll take a rest for the gun for 100 yards, but this thing's so easy to shoot. All you silhouette people and you hunters, and those of you who want guns for home defense or whatever else, you better take a hard look if you can get them. Now, they're back ordered for a while, but they're making guns as fast as they can. Let's watch our water bottle out here at 100 yards. You're standing offhand. Well, admittedly, that's not too hard. Not with this great gun. Let's move out to 200. Well, friends, realize I'm not even using a rest, but our water bottle's a disaster over there now. We've got, I think, what? Let's see, we shot the water bottle here, we shot that one. Let's go ahead and we've got that disc, and just let me shoot offhand at that disc. We've got 4 more shots. And normally I'd be using sandbags and the Sure Sight rest, but we've got a 22-inch disc out there at 200 yards, and your silhouette shooters ought to really be overjoyed by this. So let's see if we can hit that. Just shooting offhand, not shooting off a rest. Child's play. It is great. Try it again. That's 2. Let's do it again. Have I made my point or what?
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, here it is, the great Georgia Arms ammunition. Notice these ballistic tip nodular bullets in this Georgia Arms ammunition. You see, this is equivalent to a box of 20 for only $7.95. Now, friends, that is a terrific price for essentially custom-loaded ammunition. Of course, for the plain full metal jacket, it is much less expensive. Here's another tremendous bag of Georgia Arms ammunition, 7mm Remington Magnum, 20 rounds, only $17.95, loaded with these premium Nosler ballistic tips. I tell you, this is custom ammunition at a discount price. Tell you what, friends, the good people at Georgia Arms do understand what's going on in this country. They understand how important our gun rights are, and they're supporting us on this project. The good news is you can get absolutely superior ammunition at discount prices, whether you have a handgun or a rifle. If you want to take that big hunt, you can afford to practice with your rifle as well as use that same ammunition on the hunt because they are so reasonably priced. These are some of the nicest people we have ever met in this business, bar none, and they're down in beautiful Villa Rica, Georgia. So please, friends, if you would, you can get a free catalog with a free phone call. That's as good as the deal gets. A free catalog, free phone call, 1-800-624-6861. Again, Georgia Arms, 1-800-624-6861. And please tell them you saw it here on our shooting show.
Friends, I want to remind you, you can get the 41 Magnum Defense Special Load from Georgia Arms that we developed here on the program in conjunction with them. Also, they have the 357 SIG, they have the 454 Casull, a whole bunch of other neat stuff. Their new catalog is terrific. I tell you, it makes interesting reading. So if you would, give them a call, 1-800-624-6861, get a free catalog, and please tell them you saw it here on our show.
My friends, looking here, see Dan Wesson Firearms in Norwich, New York. This is serial number IDPA 001 because Bob made a special 5-inch barrel for this gun, and they sent it down to us. And of course, you see the powder marks here. We have been shooting it. It is in stainless steel, and they sent me this 8-inch barrel through the mail. Now, you talk about no fitting or anything, and we have a nut here. We'll show you how this goes on, but no, they won't come off easily. You have to have a special wrench, but it's a simple process. But they sent us this 8-inch barrel, and I'll show you the groups it has been shooting here in a moment. But you'll notice it has the excellent Millet sights on it, has an interchangeable front sight. They just have all kinds of different profiles if you want. This one has the ventilated rib, which the Dan Wessons of old certainly had for many years, has a tremendous hold grip. And of course, I'll tell you what, friends, with full powered loads, something else I want to get to right now. The Dan Wessons lock here on the crane, this is your cylinder lock. You have a place right here in the bottom of the, or below the forcing cone in the barrel. Very solid lock. Of course, it also has a lock here in the rear. This little ball also helps with its locking, but notice that the bolt cuts are offset away from the cylinder hole, so you have great strength in the cylinder. Dan Wesson had a lot of innovations. I was talking about this for years. Notice there's no dowel to center the ejector star there because they have these little cuts, and they've had that for years. And Smith & Wesson and some of the others are just now coming around to that. Also, Ruger has a similar lock to this. They thought it was such a good idea. They locked the great Red Hawk and GP and Super Red Hawk series on the crane also. So Dan Wesson was really an innovator. I was talking to Bob the other day, Bob Serva, head of the company, and I asked him, did Dan Sr., Dan Wesson, know that he was going to have such super accuracy when he came up with the interchangeable barrel idea? And Bob said he didn't think he knew, but it just turned out that way. And I tell you what, if the opening of the show is any evidence, they are super shooters. Now then, friends, we've put 3 cartridges in it, and it rotates clockwise, similar to the Colt system there, but it's a much stronger lockup than the Colts have, certainly in my opinion. Has an excellent double action trigger pull and a really smooth and crisp. Notice we've got a trigger stop here and single action. Let's see if we can hit those water bottles, see what happens here. Believe so, didn't we? Heck, let's shoot this one double action. See, very nice double action. Start our camera just a little bit if we can here. And get that last water bottle up there. Easy to shoot well. So nicely finished. They've really done their homework. Now friends, as we were saying, to give you an example, this is the Ruger Red Hawk. You can see they're very close to the same size gun. The Dan Wesson has a similar looking frame to the Ruger as far as, in fact, the width of the top strap and all is very close. Of course, this is a stainless steel gun, and it has the matte finish on it. Most impressive. All the places are smooth where they're supposed to be, and they're sharp where they're supposed to be sharp. But I will show you something. There's some engineering that they had done over the years that seemed to lessen recoil. Now, shooting, say, this Red Hawk in .44 Magnum with full house loads is something that's a little uncomfortable for you, isn't it, dear?
It's a little ferocious.
A little ferocious. But I'll show you something, friends. We have some full bore loads here, and let's put a couple of them in the gun. And let's let Heather watch her as she shoots. Now, this is not a compensated gun. They make them with compensators too. But I want you to shoot this, and it's not going to hurt you. If it's going to hurt you, I wouldn't let you do it. But we got our target over there. Just take a spot there and just pull it on through and see what you think. What'd you think?
Not bad.
Well, of course, it recoiled. I mean, we could see that.
Yeah, but it didn't hurt.
Didn't hurt, did
It
it?
did not hurt my hands.
They pioneered the spur type grip, which now Ruger's using on some of its guns. Good idea. But they pioneered the spur that goes down in the grip material here. And I tell you what, it's just not bad. In fact, we can shoot them just like offhand here. Just, you know, it's just not that bad. One-handed, you know, it's, so those of you out there, now Heather's 5'4", and certainly a very trim stature here, and she can handle this gun. So some of you ladies out there who have been wondering about doing some handgun hunting, this Dan Wesson would be an excellent, or certainly a lot of ladies shoot silhouette, and the .44 Magnum in some guns has just been too much. This Red Hawk, for you, just the way it's made,
The Red Hawk,
terrific gun. Nothing wrong with the Red Hawk, but it's certainly the barrel is lighter, and it's a little much for you. But heck, you ladies can shoot this thing. Now that we have men that are recoil sensitive, and some of us are, this will be a tremendous option. They just don't, the engineering on the gun is so good, it just doesn't have the kick that we would associate with a full charge .44 Magnum. Now, it is impressive. Of course, the next thing we want to show is how the barrels interchange, because you know, you can take this, you can buy one gun, such as in New York, you're recorded every time you buy a gun, and you have to have your papers with you on your permit. You can get one frame and get a number of different barrels, so essentially then you'll have several guns in one.
Versatility.
Oh, no question about that. And let's show you how that we change the barrel. It's easily done. Let's do that right now. Friends, before we change barrels, I want to show you what the gun is capable of. This was one of our first groups. This was with the Hornady XTP bullet, over 21 grains of 2400 powder with, I believe, Remington cases and Federal primers, and this is an 1.5 inch group, but knowing it would do better than that, let's bring the next target up. This was another group shot with the Hornady XTP. We're really starting to dial it in. I think this was with Federal cases, and of course every gun will prefer different bullets and different cases, but this one really likes the Sierra and Hornady bullets, 240 grains and about 21 grains of 2400 powder with Magnum Federal primers. Okay, this is that's a 0.9 of an inch. All right, let's go back to the double target there. Then we have some targets with the Sierra bullets. Here we go. Now then, here was the next target. This is under 1 inch, and you'll notice there, friends, that there's no paper between all 5 of those holes. These were shot at 25 yards. And then the last group, I'll show you this. Isn't that neat? That is one hole, 25 yards. and it's well under an inch in size. And honestly, friends, we're getting to the area that's about as good as I can shoot a handgun.
Is that what we call phenomenal?
I would say the gun is a phenomenal performer, and it goes right along with this great Dan Wesson legacy that they've had for so long, and yep, they're doing it again. Now, friends, the Dan Wesson people have come with a new style wrench, and of course we know first thing you do is be sure your gun is unloaded. But it's a simple thing, and of course the barrel nut is not screwed in to the point that it will break the thread. It's not, but it's good and tight, and just unscrew it. And of course when the gun is new, you'll check it a few times and retighten just to be sure. But watch this. Barrel nut just comes off. See, there it is. The shroud slips off the barrel, and watch this. You just put your fingers, you just screw the barrel out. Now, another advantage these guns have is on a lot of the revolvers, such as this Smith & Wesson or the Rugers, where the barrel is screwed into the frame. It's a it's kind of a crush fit. On the Dan Wesson, it's just the threads are what's holding. It's not the crush fit, so you don't get that squeezing on the barrel that you get with a lot of other some of the other guns. This is really a great system. It takes just a minute, and I think we'll put on, we're going to do a little action shooting with it here in a moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to put on a 4-inch barrel. Go ahead and get this out. And yeah, you got plenty of threads there, but trust me, that does work. You see, here's the frame right here. This is the locator pin for the shroud right here. Of course, here's the barrel. We'll insert it back in the shroud, and we'll go ahead and we'll keep this nut with it. So we'll go ahead and put the nut on it now. Okay, and just put it over here. So we're going to go, we have a barrel shroud here that has the shooting show on it. Now see, that's the one we're going to put on now. And of course, a different front sight configuration. So let's go ahead. This is a 4-inch barrel, and we've already shot it with this, and the gun has shot extremely well. So we'll just go ahead and take this. This is so simple. All we're going to have to do now is just screw the barrel into the frame. Isn't that easy?
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. Now friends, here it is. This is the great 1919 Browning converted to semi-automatic from the good people at NWI. This is your chance to own a real piece of history. They're very collectible. They're also a lot of fun to own and shoot, and very reasonably priced, certainly for what you get. The 1919 Browning is from NWI. That phone number, area 503-429-5001. They also have the ammunition special still going on. 30-06 ammunition, only 18 cents a round, surplus in the belt. So give them a call today, NWI, for the great 1919 Browning conversion. Also remember, they have the A6 conversion with the shoulder stock and the bipod. But these are tremendous pieces of history, also great shooters. So give them a call today, the 1919 Browning from NWI, area 503-429-5001. Friends, let us remind you that Tim does have some 50 Browning versions of these great Browning machine guns that have been converted to semi-automatic. He does have some in stock, a limited number. None of us knows what the Clintonians are going to do next, so if I wanted one of these Browning conversions, I would not put it off. Give them a call out there, 503-429-5001, and please be sure and tell them you saw it here on our show.
Now you'll see we've got the barrel all the way screwed in here, friends, and I'm going to screw it down, just let it touch the cylinder. Just let it touch, and I'm going to back it out just a little bit. Now then, we've got a feeler gauge from the parts house. Very simple. Let's see if we can close in a little bit here and look. And I'm going to set the barrel cylinder gap at about 4 thousandths. And here is how you do this. We'll insert the feeler gauge right here between the cylinder and the end of the barrel, and I'm going to close it down on that 4 thousandths and just let it drag a little bit. Now you don't want to mash, you don't want to get it real tight, because you'll be compressing the spring-loaded ball, the locking ball in the back of the frame. You just want it to drag just a little bit, just about there. All right, that's about like I want it. Now then, we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn. We'll check each hole in the cylinder, because a little bit tight there. I'm going to loosen it a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit. Every cylinder will have a very slight variation from all manufacturers, from one hole to the next, just very slight. And you want this on the your barrel cylinder gap set on the highest point on the cylinder. And it just takes a second for it to get up here, just a second. Just rotate all the way around. We're looking good. We're looking good. Because these are really precision machines. There we go. All right, we're looking good here. Looking good here. Yep, sure enough. Okay. Now we've checked all 6 of them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the cylinder, and I'm going to put my thumb against the back of the barrel. That's to hold it in place. Because we don't want it now, we don't want it to move. We've got it properly set. We're going to go ahead and put the shroud in place like so, and put the barrel nut right here. Now then, go ahead and tighten it real good, real firm. Like I said, after we shoot it time 2, we're going to recheck it. We'll retighten. Be sure we got it in place there. Okay, now then, let's recheck what we just did. Take our feeler gauge. Yep, looking good here. Going to check all the way around. Just takes about a minute to do. Yep, looking good. Yep. You want just a little drag on it. You don't want much, but you want a little. There we go. Looking good. Just perfect, if you ask me. I think that's 6. All right. And guess what? Now we have the shooting show shroud on here, which I am especially proud of. Now we've got a gun that would be an excellent carry gun, a 5-inch 44 Magnum. You still get the majority of your velocity there, but it's much easier to carry, say, than this 8-inch barrel here. Of course, we have a red ramp sight on it, and it would also be good for IDPA competition, and I think we can prove that to you on just how these guns handle in just a moment. But wasn't that neat? That's all there was to it, friends. All there was to changing the barrel out. Now then, friends, we know that the Dan Wesson is a superior long-distance gun, but let's try it on a little action shooting. We've got our great Kimber 1911. We're going to have 6-shot drill. Going to run 2 on the closest target, 1 on this target out here. Then we got 3 of the dingers that we're going to shoot. The first 3 dingers, and what we have is, instead of full charge ammunition in the 44, we've got some target 45 ACP equivalent ammo there. So let's go ahead and try it with our 1911, so we can kind of get a look at time. Let's compare and see how the big Dan Wesson fares against some of the other guns. We're talking multi-uses here. Okay, I have my timer on. Let's go ahead. We'll start from the low ready position. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, let's do it. Okay, 3. We're empty here. Good hits here. 3.03 seconds, which is not a bad time actually. Let's tape our targets. Tell you what, that kimber is as nice a 45 as you're going to find. Okay. Now then, let's take a 357 Magnum, the GP100. So we're looking at around 3 seconds. Let's do the same drill and see what we get with our double action revolver. Okay, we had 3 hits on the dingers. Actually, 2.97 seconds for our GP100. Let's tape our target and see where it went. Good hit here. We broke the line here. We're okay. We're okay. Good hit here. Okay, I realize that the Dan Wesson is, this 5-inch barrel is heavier than the other 2 guns. Certainly the timber is much smaller. The 357 Magnum is quite a bit smaller, and we're shooting a little more powerful ammunition. We're shooting certainly the upper limit of 45 ACP, and heck, let's just see what happens. This is the first time we've done this. We're learning together here, but see if my theory is going to hold correct. Let's do it. That was just under 3 seconds, 2.97 hundredths. And believe me, I'm not sandbagging. Let's just see what happens. Let's do it. Okay, friends. I said earlier, the handling was real good. How about 2.9 seconds? So, really, it's just what you like. But the guns do have superior handling. I tell you what, the reason is that I wanted to do this is because you can have 1 barrel for silhouette. You can have a 5-inch barrel for home defense or for this kind of competition. So you can use the gun in several different venues of competition. So that was my concern, is would it be competitive? And obviously, not only was it competitive, it was actually a little bit faster. But that's just going to vary. It is certainly as shootable as the semi-automatics or the other kinds of revolvers. Has a very nice action on it. So the shooting show shroud didn't hurt at all too. That helped it a lot. In fact, I know that's what took that extra time off of it there. I know it was that shooting show, that lightweight shooting show etched in the metal there. I'll tell you what, friends, here's how to get in touch with the Dan Wesson Company if you want a brochure or want information. But let me tell you what, we're so glad to see this name come back on the American firearm scene.
Now, friends, if you'd like further information on these great Dan Wesson guns, give them a call at area 607-336-1174. Again, 607-336-1174. And please tell them you saw it here on our program. Now, friends, we're going to see some fast draw in action here by a friend of ours, Lane Foshee. He was out at our Fun Gun Weekend. And bear with me on this. We have a tremendous amount of Fun Gun Weekend footage we have not run yet. We've been kind of backed up on projects here. Lane's going to do some fast draw for us. As you know, we support cowboy action shooting. This is certainly a great sport. It kind of goes along with that. So let's watch him in action now.
This one, normally, this is shot about 8 foot. And we do shoot 5, 8, 10, and 12 normally, you know, with blanks. So, see if I can. This stance and drawing this gun, you cannot physically draw this gun without a little help. A little hip motion will pull this gun for you. I think I can take these from here.
sir. I'm impressed. All right, sir. Yes, sir.
Friends, let me tell you about the finest western store west of the Mississippi River. It's the Old West Mercantile, located right here at 2576 East Texas in Bossier City, Louisiana. They sell a complete line of classic Old West style clothing for cowboy action shooters or for those who just like the look of the Old West. They have all sorts of custom hats and leather goods and boots and western specialties. They have a full line of ladies' clothing, including western wedding attire. They have guns and gear featuring authentic Colts and Winchesters and Rugers and Rossies and others, and even some black powder supplies. This is the place to find it all. If they don't have it, they'll get it. So take a step back in time and meet Randy and the family. For a free brochure, call 1-800-493-9972, or their website is oldwestmercantile.com. The coffee, Arbuckle, of course, is always on, and remember, they'll be your huckleberry.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're very pleased to be with you today. You'll recognize my good friend Leroy Scott here, and we are thankful again to be coming to you by television. We want to remind you that our good friends with the Flying Horse Galleries on the internet are having an auction on an original painting. This is just a smaller picture of the original painting by Deborah Sutherland, and they're auctioning it. It's on the internet. You can go to their website, which you'll see at some point in the program here, and if you'd like to make a bid on it, you certainly can, and we appreciate their efforts. It's a horse there that's broken free of its rope around its neck, and the title is Liberty is Worth Fighting For. Liberty Worth Fighting For. And I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm going to put this down. Anyway, our Shooting Show newsletter is, we're working on our second edition now, or our second issue of our Shooting Show newsletter, and it has a lot of things that we don't cover here on the program, some things that news items from around the country, and certainly our own opinions, but it is a great thing if anything happens to our program and you get the newsletter like the satellite, which went out just a couple of weeks ago, and we didn't know what in the world, how we're going to let people know. If you're getting our newsletter, we can zap that right to you. So this is something that I know a lot of you would like to have. Well, Judge, I want to bring up something. You know, we're always talking about the idiocy or the lunacy in Washington, D.C., and they've got a new one now. You know, now they want to start registering women for the draft. You have an opinion on that, sir?
I don't think women ought to be involved in the draft in the first place.
Well, this is something new, and I was listening to talk radio earlier today, and I had a couple of ladies on the line together, and one of them, a 20-year-old girl, was saying, well, she thought she could do anything a man could do, and that's fine, and had a more mature lady on the other line, and she said, young lady, you hadn't lived long enough when you're 20 years of age to know much about anything. She says it's not possible. Now, friends, let me pose this to you. If these people in Washington are having the trouble telling the difference between men and women. Now, Judge, comment.
Well, sometimes I have trouble.
Well, there's some out there, I guess, that you'd have trouble identifying. But you know what? By and large, we'd like to just make, there's really a difference between men and women. This is one of the reasons we want more women involved in shooting, because you know what? Women are not as physically able to defend themselves from an attack as a lot of men are. So that's why we encourage women to learn shooting and learn the proper use of guns. But if you don't think there's any difference in men and women, and the capabilities, and of course, what they're talking about, battlefield.
I didn't say there wasn't any difference in them. I said sometimes it's hard to tell.
Well, there's some out there that I think are a little bit confused on which side of the fence they're on. But anyway, my point here is some of these feminazis want to put these girls in combat situations. They don't have a clue. They absolutely don't. If you don't believe there's a physical difference in the capabilities of men and women, all you have to do is watch a little girl's softball game and then watch a little boy's baseball game. It is not the same thing, friends. And how many other things you want to talk about. But this is a problem we have. We have people pretending that something is so when it's flatly not. These same people want to disarm us. They want their dream of a socialist America. And you know what's coming, you know, Judge, this deal about if any two people exchange a gun or any kind of transaction, they're going to have to do a background check, even if it's your own child, even if it's your own parent, if it's your next door neighbor whom you've known all your life, doesn't matter. You're going to have to do a background check on them. This was part of the Brady II deal, and Larry Pratt called me yesterday talking about this, and he said they had been against the instant check from the very beginning.
They were.
And of course the NRA, they compromised on it, another compromise. And Judge, what do you think? You think Charlton Heston's going to be able to help the NRA? What do you think?
Well, he's got a statue of that nobody else in the NRA has, but I was not a supporter of Charlton Heston. In the first place, I think the NRA has wasted way too much money in lots of ways. I don't care to get into it right now. I thought the Neil Knox group was eminently correct, and I still support the Neil Knox group.
Now, I picked this up somewhere this last week. You know, Bill Ruger of Ruger Firearms gave the NRA $1 million, and I think what they've chosen to do, they want to build a museum, as I understand it. I picked this up this past week, and you know what, friends? I could think of lots better ways to spend $1 million. You know, they could buy a lot of time here on the shooting show with us for $1 million. I'll tell you what, for $1,000, they could buy time here on the shooting show for hundreds of dollars. But no, they don't choose to do that, and we don't really understand that, but that's okay. But you know what? If some of these people don't wake up, I guess we're going to need a museum, Judge, to show the guns we used to have, huh?
Yeah, that's about the only thing they can do, Johnny. And I doubt if even if the museums are going to be granted authority or clearance to have them.
Maybe they'll have drawings of the guns we used to have, huh? Maybe have drawings or maybe pictures somewhere. Because, friends, guess what? That's what's going to happen. If somebody out there, or several somebodies, could write a bigger check so we could get, you know, that Dish Network will sell us time in addition to our regular uplink service, but it's going to cost us $2,500 an hour. We flatly can't do it, but they would sell us time. They already said they would do it. we could reach tremendous more, because this is what has to be done. We've got to reach more people on TV. We're getting crucified every day on television. You know what, I saw a local news program here just a few minutes ago, and some people who obviously did not know what they were talking about. We're talking about the NRA. We're talking about guns. This woman writer came up and said, well, you don't need semi-automatic weapons to go hunting. Well, guess what, friends? You can hunt with a spear or a bow and arrow or something else, but you know what you can't do very well? You can't defend yourself against evil forces or people trying to take over your country. You can't do that with slingshots or with spears or bows and arrows. You have to have guns to do that. And semi-automatics do have some advantages. So no, they don't understand. See, they can get the other viewpoint on TV. Why can't we get our viewpoint on more television, huh?
They won't present it.
See, that's what we're all about, friends, is buying more time so we can just present not only our side, but the truth. See, when you and I have been involved in a couple of debates.
Of course, that's one of the things that Charlton Heston, that I'm not a Charlton Heston supporter, because he opened his big mouth here not long ago and said that AK-47s were not an appropriate civilian weapon. Perhaps the full automatic version isn't, but the semi-automatic version is essentially just like any other semi-automatic rifle, just like my Browning.
Well, you're exactly right, Judge. And it's going to be interesting to watch how this thing with the NRA does. We hope they can get straightened out. We hope so, because we need the NRA. We need every power that is possible on our side of this equation. Because you know what, friends, we're losing as we speak. We're losing our rights every day. What?
Johnny, the thing that bothers me is that the news media have said that Charlton Heston is a moderate. I'm suspicious of anybody that's a moderate, because I think that's a liberal in disguise. Mm-hmm. But they said that Charlton Heston was a moderate, and he was. This was an effort by the moderates to take over the NRA against the, quote, extremists, the extremists being people that didn't want to give any more concessions.
You think they'd call us extremists, Judge?
Yeah, oh yeah, easily. And that bothers me, and that's the reason why I support Gun Owners of America, because they are a no-nonsense outfit that is completely and totally opposed to any form of gun control of any kind.
Well, you know, what part of shall not be infringed, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed? Did you know that accidents with firearms are way below swimming pools, below all kinds of common things?
Below bicycles.
Below bicycles. Did you know that talk about these school shootings, did you know there are many, many more times people killed by lightning here in the United States in a year than are killed at school? Did you know that? So the Israelis have already dealt with this. They have they thought to arm their principals and arm some of their teachers, and guess what? The Palestinians quit breaking in on those schoolyards and quit killing those kids. So, you know, Judge, if you were going to make any kind of perverted statement with violence, and you were some kind of terrorist or a deranged person, wouldn't you go where you know there would be no opposition at all? Friends, this is the silliness that we're being confronted by on so many fronts. You know what we can do? We can make a difference by getting more time on television to tell more of the truth. That's why we're here today. We can buy more time, Judge, if we had the money. We could buy more time. We could, if we had cooperation from some industrial types out there, we could have our own network that would be up 24 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 24 hours, whatever we could do. We could do it. We could do it. Right now, we don't have the money to do it. If you want to see our project continue, if you want to help us stay on the air, please, friends, send whatever you can to the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Duberly, Louisiana. That zip code is 71024. If you would like to sponsor our program, or you know someone who could help us buy more time, please give us a call, 318-377-5189. This is not off sometime in the future what we're talking about. It's here now, friends. We're fighting for the survival of the United States of America. Will you help us? Now, friends, we want to show something to you here. This is a terrific plexiglass gun case. You'll see our Red Hawk in on the stand there. Our good friend Bill Lewis is making these available for sale. They have a number of different varieties for handguns and for long guns. If you want to display a favorite gun of yours, these are terrific. And our friend Bill Lewis can be reached at area 770-974-9699. He also has something else he's going to make available. Here you see one of our dinger targets that we're always shooting on the program. It's a steel disc that is supported by chains here, and Bill's going to be selling the disc in several different sizes, starting at around $29.95, I believe, along with the chains, which can be hung from your choice of target stands. This is an excellent buy. You can give our good friend Bill a call, area 770-974-9699. And friends, we want to recognize the good folks in our support group. These are smaller companies or smaller advertisers, but nevertheless, they help us stay on the air. We really do appreciate them. Our good friend Dennis Crocker, who is a firearms instructor there in South Carolina, he's authorized to go throughout the state. You can reach him at area 864-587-8722. And of course, we have Dennis and Jeannie Ritchie with Custom Leather Work in Saddlery. They're in Denham Springs, Louisiana. They do all kinds of custom leather work on saddles and leather holsters, all kinds of things. You can give them a call, area 504-667-9225. And the folks out at Camouflage Technologies, they do such an outstanding job. They paint gun stocks with all kinds of different patterns. You can call them at area 909-674-6488. And of course, our friends with Flying Horse Galleries, you can find them on the internet there with their terrific artwork. Remember that painting that they're auctioning on behalf of our program. You can find them at www.flyinghorse.net. Again, www.flyinghorse.net. And our friend Bruce Warren with BC Armory there in East Leroy, Michigan. He works on semi-automatic pistols and revolvers, does terrific custom work there. You can find him at area 616-729-5508. And our friend Wayne Bearden with Holland Guard Service. They do all kinds of security work around Meridian, Mississippi, and you can find him there at area 601-644-3950. And we don't want to forget our friends out at Clark Custom Guns. They've been such a help to us for all kinds of custom gun work. You can give them a call at area 318-949-9884. Friends, please remember our gospel show on Telstar 4, Channel 23 on Sunday morning, 10:30 Eastern Time, and our radio show on the American Freedom Network on Sundays from noon to 2 p.m. We're out of time. We'll see you on the next